Hello everybody, this is Johnny21 and welcome back to what is a 2-in-1 pre-release video. Today we're going to be looking at pre-release 3 and pre-release 4, and the reason for this is because I was going to release my pre-release 3 video yesterday, but I realised I got like a whole segment in it completely wrong, so rather than re-record it because it was quite late, I just decided I'd release it today, and coincidentally pre-release 4 was also released today. As you can see in the bottom left of the screen it says pre-release 4, and so I'm going to be going over the features in that. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. The first change in this pre-release is now Nether fortresses should be a bit more common in the Nether, so you should see more of these appearing in your Nether worlds. As well as this, when you drink a fire resistance potion, it will now not only protect you from fire of course, but it will also give you an extra bit of visibility when you're in lava. So I'll just give you a quick example. If I go into the lava right now, it takes me a while to see the block. I literally have to be pretty much right into it, as you can see here. So I've just bumped into this netherite. Can't really see it from here, but I can see it when I get really close. But if you drink a potion of fire resistance, you'll see that your visibility is greatly improved. And I guess this will be quite useful when you're searching for an ancient debris underneath the lava if you're using this method. And yeah, it should make your life a whole lot easier. If you've been keeping up to date with the snapshots, then you will know that when you try and loot a Bastion remnant by opening the chests, the piglins will become aggressive to you as they don't really take too kindly to thieves. Now, you used to be able to get around this by breaking the chest and just, taking the items that way, but now they will instantly aggro to you when you break a chest. So I'll just demonstrate it here. As you can see, they won't aggro to me currently because I got a gold piece of armor on. When I break this chest, this piglin, after inspecting this sword, will aggro to me. I'm not sure if that's a bug. They should really attack me first rather than at my, stuff like gold. I thought that was fixed a couple of snapshots ago. But anyway, as you can see, quickly killed by the piglin. Note, this doesn't require line of sight, and so if you're doing this behind a wall, you are still not safe, and the piglin will still aggro on you. Now moving on to some more general changes, you can now put raw meat and raw fish on an unlit campfire. So as you can see, I can put some raw cod and a raw pork chop on here. As you would expect, it doesn't actually cook it. You actually have to light it, of course, to cook it. But I guess, you could just put the food on there and then light it later, I guess. It's kind of the idea with this. And also, you can now compost shroom lights. So before, you couldn't use them in a composter, but now you can. And as you can see, you can now get bone meal from them. So once it's filled up enough, you get some bone meal. So now you can make bone meal out of shroom lights. As you may know, in pre-release 1 there was a lot of critical bugs, which were then fixed in pre-release 2. But of course this meant some worlds created in pre-release 1 were then broken. So now in pre-release 3, the game will now attempt to recover worlds broken in 1.16 pre-release 1. You might still get some errors, you might get some world loading errors, terrain generation might be a bit off in some points, so I would recommend you make a backup of your world before you try this. They've also made it so game rule descriptions will now span multiple lines if needed on the game rules screen. To give you an example of this, allow spectators to generate terrain is now on 2 lines, however previously it would be squashed onto 1 line. However, now they're doing multiple lines for descriptions. I'll just see if I can find another one for you guys. But I don't think there is another one, so that might just be the only one. Of course, it might change for, what resolution, what's, screen size you're running. But here, allow spectators to generate terrain is on 2 lines, whereas previously this would have been just on 1. So they've just made that as a small little change. As well as this, a loading screen is now displayed while the game is reading world data for loading, creating or recreating a world. So to give you an example of this, I'm just going to go ahead and click recreate on this new world. And you'll see a little bit of a title there, not title, but like a little bit of text that says reading world data. It's very short. These loading screens aren't very long, they're not, big loading screens. But if I go to create new world, you'll get a little thing that says preparing world data, and then of course we'll recreate the world. So they've just got these extra lines of text telling what's happening, and I guess if you're running a slower machine, you'll see this for longer, and it just gives you reassurance that it's not crashed and it's actually doing what it's meant to be doing. There's also been some technical changes in this pre-release. Region files are now only opened in synchronous mode on Windows and not on any other operating systems, and this is for dedicated servers and for clients. Now moving on to some bug fixes, and the first one is to do with bees. You might have witnessed in your worlds some bees just randomly flying into water and dying. Hopefully this should now be fixed in this pre-release. They've said that they should no longer do this. Of course, in the past there's been quite a lot of issues with bee pathfinding and stuff like that, fine-tuning them. I guess they are relatively new, only came out in the last major update, 1.15. But anyway, hopefully they should now not kill themselves by flying into water. They've also made it so striders are a lot rarer now. They used to be really common. Like, I remember filming previous snapshot videos, you used to see tons of them covering lava lakes. But now they should be a bit more rare in this pre-release. This isn't such a bug fix, I guess, but it was in the bug fixes section, and I guess because it's just a small tweak to mob spawning, rather than, a change that really needs to be noted. Also, Lena Rain has now had her name added to the credits. I hope I said that right. She was the composer who wrote Pigstep and also the 3 other Nether pieces that you hear when you're traversing the Nether. And now in pre-release 3, her name will appear in the credits. There was a bug which meant you could get the Oh Shiny advancement without actually giving a gold ingot to a piglin. If you distracted a baby piglin with a gold ingot and it ran over to it, you get the achievement, but of course it wouldn't pick it up and you'd still have your gold ingot. However, now you actually have to give it to one of, the adult piglins, and then they'll take it and barter with you and you'll get the Oh Shiny advancement. So, as you can see, go over to this baby piglin and chuck the ingot, he'll go straight to it, and that would normally grant it because he was, looking at it, but now you actually have to get them to pick it up, which can only be done by an adult piglin. There was a bug which meant netherite recipes would appear in the crafting book for the netherite tools and netherite armor. This of course isn't meant to happen, as you're only able to actually make netherite tools and armor via the smithing table. So this has been fixed in pre-release 3, and now you should no longer see them in the crafting book. Now I'm going to talk about the future of zombified piglin gold / XP farms. Now, these, if you don't know what they are, they basically are big donut-shaped farms that you essentially AFK in the middle of, and before you AFK, you make sure one of the pigmen / zombified piglins are aggro, and then they aggro each other. They kind of spread the aggro throughout all the zombified piglins / pigmen, and basically they come towards you, and they kind of drop into these kill zones where they get killed by entity cramming, and this grants you XP and also gold drops. So basically, this is a bug that's being exploited here because they shouldn't do that. They should only drop drops and drop XP when you kill them by your own hand. But basically, this bug means that you can essentially get loads and loads of XP and loads of gold ridiculously fast, because even though you're not killing them, and just because they're angered by you and they're dying, this buggy piece of code essentially means that you will get the XP and drops. Now, one of the developers for Minecraft, Sliced Line, tweeted out a couple of days ago. This is also a Reddit post, so you can go view it there if you want to. But basically, he said a couple of things about what they're going to be doing with these farms in the future. So just to summarize what's being said here, they're essentially saying that they don't want it in the game really because it's a glitch, of course, and it exploits a bug. But of course, they can't really change it now because it's too late in the pre-release and snapshot cycle of 1.16 to basically remove it in 1.16. They're saying here that if they'd done it earlier, of course, it would be fine, but it's getting ridiculously close to 1.16 right now, and they can't really remove them before 1.16 comes out. Now, they say here that they try to fix the aggro and make sure not to break the farms because there were quite a lot of aggro related bugs. They couldn't get this to work though without breaking the XP glitch, and of course, since it was too close to the release of 1.16 when they started discussing this, essentially they couldn't get rid of aggro bugs without getting rid of XP glitches, so they decided just to leave it in the game. So the XP glitch is still a thing. However, there is a disclaimer at the bottom saying that basically these farms probably won't work forever. It's likely that in future updates they're going to remove it when they have more time, and we could potentially see these farms get removed in the next few updates. And now we move on to pre-release 4, and the only real change that pre-release 4 has brought is they've now tweaked some of the hostile mob spawn rates in Warp Forest and Soul Sand valleys, the former being here, warped forest here. So apparently they've just, changed the hostile mob spawn rates ever so slightly. Not sure if this is an increase or a decrease, but I'm sure it was for a good reason. There was also a bug which meant you could get a fire on top of another fire if you used a fire charge on a pre-existing fire. However, this has now been removed. You can't get a fire to appear on top of the other fire anymore. As you can see, I'm trying here, right clicking on it, and it's not working. Clicking above it, it's not working. Apparently this was a bug. I never experienced this, but hopefully this shouldn't happen again where you get a fire on top of another fire. Another bug that's been fixed in pre-release 4 is the fact that endstone would generate in floating island worlds. Now you'll actually get stone, the diorite, the andesite, and the granite as well as all spawns rather than just a load of endstone. Now I did a live stream a couple of weeks ago where I was doing some custom floating island worlds, and it was really frustrating. You couldn't really get any stone or iron or anything because it was all endstone. But now hopefully that's been fixed in this pre-release, and I'm actually quite glad this change, and I actually can go ahead and probably do another one of these worlds and actually survive in it now. Likewise with cave custom worlds, you used to get netherrack spawning even if you picked a non-nether biome. So hopefully now you shouldn't get netherrack in your cave worlds too. And of course there are many other bug fixes, but you can go read up on those yourself as this video is already quite long. And yeah, there should be a link at the top of the description linking you to the web page article on these two pre-releases. Subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to be notified when I release new Minecraft news videos. And as always, this has been Johnny21, and I shall see you later.